For actually a long time, banks didn't actually keep your money safe. If the bank got robbed, your money disappeared.
Yeah.
Okay? What happens if a bank goes bankrupt?
People lose just money.
Oh, not my eraser. Mine's magnetic. Alright. You lose your money, right? Why? How do banks work? Does anybody know how a bank works? Okay. So you have a deposit and a withdrawal. You put your money in, and they save it for you and give it to you later when you need it, when you withdraw, right? What would happen if you deposited $100? You have $100 in your bank account, right? But let's say in a given month, you only usually use about $50. So you have about $50 in savings every month. Now the bank is holding this, right? And you're not likely to take it out, right? Because you're saving money, right? So what does the bank do? How does a bank make money?
You buy stocks.
Sort of. Actually, banks don't make money with stocks. It's too risky.
Like, you buy their national.
They play with that $50.
They play with the $50. I like what you're thinking. So banks will take your $50 savings, okay, and they will give a loan to Jin's lemonade stand. Jin, you needed $50 to start your lemonade stand. Okay? Now, in order to borrow the $50 from the bank, you have to pay something called interest. Okay? You guys know what interest is?
Yes.
It's money that you get or money that you pay when there is a loan given. Okay? So whether you loan it to the bank by giving a deposit or you borrow money from the bank, there's usually interest on this. Okay? Everyone following along? So, if there is a 10% interest on this loan, Jin, how much money do you need to pay at the end of the month when you have to pay back the loan?
55.
Good. Everybody understand? All right. So, where does the bank make their money? The 10% that you just paid, 0.01% will go to the depositor of the account for the money. And the bank collects the rest. Does that make sense? So this is how banks make money. Everybody following along so far?
Yeah.
Alright. It's really important that you guys understand this. So where did this come about? How did banks start to do this particular thing? I mean, you can't take someone's gold and then give it to someone else, and then when the person comes to get the gold, it's missing. Right? So what they did is they created a note. They created a note. So gold notes, it's not the actual name for it, is basically a document that says that the bank has this particular amount of gold in their accounts, right? And because gold is really heavy, people would just trade these notes of guaranteed deposit for the gold. And this is how money came about, okay? And for a long time, money used to be based on gold or silver or precious metals. Is following along so far?
Yeah.
Lexus, what was it based on? Gold. Okay, so this is called the gold standard. That means that the currency is pegged to the amount of gold in the treasury of the government. Does that make sense? So if the government has 100 million pounds of gold, right? Then their money, their paper money, is worth the same amount of gold that they have in the treasuries. Which makes it very stable as a currency because it doesn't go up and down. Do you guys know what happened when there was a political situation in South Korea?
Yeah.
The currency exchange rate changed drastically. Why? did this happen? What do you think? Are you paying attention? What are we talking about? Please pay attention, okay? Alright, so the amount of paper currency is based on the amount of gold in the treasury of a government. Now that's bad though. Why? Well, what happens when a government needs more money to fund things? Anybody? What happens when a government needs to fund a war? They need to tax in order to get enough money to pay for everything to be developed in order to fight the war. You guys understand so far? If you don't have the gold, you can't do anything. So what did they do? Anybody? No. The government said, who needs gold? The world mainly focuses on something called fiat currency. This is really important that you guys understand this because everything that you guys own is based on a currency that has no inherent value. Let that sink in for a moment. You could work 40 years, save billions of dollars, but tomorrow the government can go bankrupt, you can get taken over, and that money is worthless. It's like toilet paper at that point. Why is this? Well, fiat currency is a currency not backed by anything of worth of value. So where do we get the value of money from? This is where we're going to talk about supply and demand. You guys have learned this already? Okay. Alright. When the supply of money goes up, you print more money. You print. What happens to the value of the money? The worth of the value goes down. So I want to ask you guys, why does South Korea use 1,000 won to buy water? But the US uses $1 to buy water. At some point in Korea's history, there was a financial situation where the government had to do what? Increase the supply of money to do what? It could be funding a war, it could be anything. Right? You guys understand?
Yeah.
So the money that we have right now is technically worthless. Why does it have value to you guys? Think about that for a second. What do you think, Selena? Why does money have value to you? Does it have value? Is it worth something to you? You don't want money? You don't want cash? So if I offered to give you 1 million won right now, you wouldn't take it? Everyone wants money, but why do you want money?
It's like
What do you use it for?
we can use whatever we want. We can
Yeah.
buy it.
You can buy things. So money, fiat currency, the only value that you get from it. Okay. The only value that we assign it is essentially our usage of it. So what would happen to money if you couldn't buy anything with it? Answer this question. What would happen to money if you can't use it? Natural disaster wipes out supermarkets. It's useless. So how do you have value in order to trade something? Money is just paper. Do you need paper? Do you need a lot of paper? There's a whole printer full of paper. Do you need it? No. So what does value come from? Value is equal to needs. If no one needs it, it has no value. If someone needs it, it has value. Okay? The more someone needs it, means demand is higher. Okay? Higher demand means higher price, right? So higher the price, meaning there's more incentive to make more. Good? Alright, any questions? Alright, so we talked a lot about what money is, what currency is, and other things among them, right? Why is supply and demand such an important topic that we need to cover? You guys have learned it. You guys have also reviewed it a bit. But why is it something that we need to know in order to understand the economy and the world around us?
So to know the best way to reduce the extreme.
But does supply and demand only focus on currency or money? Can supply and demand be used for something else? What do you guys think? Yes? No? Maybe? Yeah? Like what?
Labor.
Labor. Labor. You guys familiar with this word? Okay, labor is like working, right?
Yeah.
Working. So what happens if you guys go to university?
Study.
Yes, you study. What do you study?
Subject that we take.
What subject did you choose? Haven't picked yet. Okay. Let's say you want to study, I don't know. It's one of the ones that are not in demand. Let's use art for an example. If you go to art school, why does everybody say that it's not a good choice? Not a good idea?
There's not a lot of competition.
The demand is really low. Right? And because demand is really low, what happens?
There's not a lot of companies there.
There's not a lot of jobs, right?
Jobs.
So what happens if you flood the entire market with, I don't know, 5 million people? You flood the entire market with 5 million people who want to study art and get out of school and they have an art degree. What happens?
Unemployed.
They're going to be unemployed. Okay? Supply and demand focuses on this. This is what we're going to talk about with unemployment later on. But essentially there are several different types of unemployment. One of them is based on skills. If you don't have the skills, you will be unemployed. This is the same concept of